talking about different types of jig trailers to use when the water's kind of cold. One of the best ways to catch bass early in the year is to throw a jig, and not a lot of people know the ins and outs of what type of trailer to use when the water's cold. What I like to start off with is a smaller pork style trailer. Uncle Josh has got the new Phantom finesse crawl out there, and works really good on the back of your finesse jigs. I like to take this little bitty trailer and I'll add it to my Omega finesse jigs, and works really good because pork has a little bit more action to it when the water's cold. When the water's only 38, 40 to 45 degrees, this little chunk right here on the back of your trailer works wonders. Another trailer I like to use a lot when the water's real cold on my smaller jigs is a Zoom little critter crawl. This little crawl trailer works really well on the back of a finesse jig when the water's really cold. The great thing about little plastic trailers like this is they come in a lot of different colors, so you can match your jigs depending on whatever lake you're fishing. And got the privilege of fishing with Troy Aikens down at Lake of the Ozarks, and I learned some stuff from him on fishing jigs early in the year, and he was really putting it to me with these little bitty critter crawls on the back of his jig. So ever since then I started using these small critter crawls on the back of my jig. I started catching a lot more fish early in the year. The big deal with these little trailers like this is they just don't have a whole lot of action to them, which is resembles a forage when the water's really cold. It's not moving that much. Crawfish are not really active when the water's real cold, and so a little kind of do nothing trailer like this on the back of your jig is really good for triggering those inactive fish to bite at that time of the year. When the water starts to warm up a little bit, though, what I like to do is I like to step up my trailers a little bit in size, because bass are starting to get a little bit more active and starting to get a little bit more aggressive because they're feeding up for the spawn. So when that water starts hitting 50 degrees, 55 degrees, what I'll do is I'll put on a big Phantom crawl from Uncle Josh, one of these big pork trailers, and I'll swim that on the back of an Omega football jig, and works really good. If I'm not going to throw the pork, there's like a color I got to match on a certain lake. One color is really hot or something like that. A lot of times I go with plastic, and one of my favorite trailers to throw is one of these net bait pack-a-chunks. And one color that's been really good to me the last couple of years in the Ozarks has been this Alabama crawl. I like to throw that on the back of my jigs. Omega Custom Tackle's got a skirt color out there called Texas crawl, and this Alabama crawl from that bait really matches up with that really well. A lot of times I'm taking these football jigs like this, and I'll get on those 45-degree chunk rock banks when the water starts warming up a little bit and those fish start to move, and I'll just crawl them real slow on the bottom, just like you would a spinner bait or a crankbait, and I'll catch a lot of fish doing that. So showed you a couple of different jig trailers that I like to use when the water's really cold and early in the year. I like to keep it pretty simple. As you can see, I don't really get too extravagant with my trailers. When the water's real cold, 38 to 42 degrees, I'll throw the smaller pork style trailers and little bitty crawl trailers on the back of my little finesse jigs, and when that water starts to warm up a little bit, when it starts getting in the 50s, then I'll step up to the bigger chunk trailers, and I've had real good results doing that. So next time you get out there to throw a jig early in the year, keep these tips in mind. Hope it helps you put a couple more fish in the boat.